Let's say everyone became a passive investor, like 100% of the market was passive, that would be pretty bad, because then you wouldn't have what's called price discovery, which is this like the valuation of businesses. If we said that you buy into an index fund, a global index like we do at the minute, and 5p in every pound goes to Apple, if that's set and then everyone's passive, that will never change, because they're just going to stay at that size and the money's going to go in. No one's coming along going, actually, they're not worth that. You know, price discovery is really important because it values businesses. It makes them rise and fall. And we need that active component. We need people betting and speculating on which companies are over or undervalued to set the prices. The passive component doesn't do that. It just blindly buys everything and goes along for the ride. So if everyone was passive, it would mean that the index would never change, would it? The top 500 companies would just stay the top 500 and no one could ever get into that list because everyone's just set by and knows at those levels. Yeah. Now, this leads for a lot of debate and a lot of articles that are written saying passive investing bubble. Michael Burry is a famous example of someone who points to the bubble of passive investing. And there's a lot of articles that talk about it. There's still a massive component of active, of people that are trying to beat the market, of people pricing businesses. And I don't think that will ever go away because I think it's too alluring. I think people will always try and beat the market. And I do think as well that a lot of the people that write the articles saying that passive investing is this real big problem are people that make a lot of money out of the active side. Question their intentions and their biases of why are they saying that. I think what I think's happened really is that passive investing has allowed Joe Public to participate in the market without getting ripped off. And that in the past it was, you were paying an active manager massive amounts of fees to make decisions for you. And now that section of the market has just moved into passive investments, which is a lower cost, easier way to access the fun stuff. But you still got all these active guys pricing and things. People like Sasha, they're valuing businesses and saying when they'll buy and when they won't. And that's producing the valuations that we all need. I don't think everyone needs to be active. I think if everyone was passive, it would be a disaster. But I think there needs to be some balance here and realize that all that's happened is people like me and you are participating passively. There's still loads of shiny towers in London where there's loads of people making active decisions on prices every day.
Nice. Do you know off the top of your head which one's bigger, like the percentage in the market of active versus passive?
I think passive is now bigger than actively managed funds. I think it's swung, but I think active is still bigger than passive across the whole market. Yeah. But let's look. Let's not speculate. 1 second. Typing a P into the search bar is dangerous. I was quick on that time.
Yeah, hit that E on Perplexity so quickly, mate. PE, like at the same time.
So we're back. We had a look, and what we found was that in 2019, passive funds overtook active funds in America. So this is the American market. It's only just above 50%, the passive element, and the trend is that that's growing. But this is just in America. Obviously, on a global stage, that could be a lot different. The thing with the American market is it's the most well-tracked, most well-researched. So people often think it's impossible to beat that market. But somewhere like India, you might have a much higher active presence because it might require more skill to kind of identify the companies there. Now, as well as that, we're just talking about funds there.
Yeah.
We're not talking about stock pickers and that whole area of the market of everyone trying to buy individual companies. So I think if you looked at it, not just funds, but the whole market, you'd probably find people are more active still, than they are passive. You've got like massive wealth funds and, like family estates and things like this where billionaires are looked after by a wealth manager. There's active participation there. So I think it's another one of these like sensational problems that's created by people potentially with an incentive to make you feel like what you're doing is wrong, what you're doing is not complicated enough, and that you need to give them loads of fees so that they can do it for you. And yeah, I do agree that if everything was passive, it wouldn't be a good thing. But I just don't think we're ever going to get there because there's always going to be guys and girls trying to beat the market, setting the prices. If you want to hear our full thoughts on whether we think global index funds have a problem, then the full episode is right here.